yeah, Tavwa, we love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In this bulletin, block committees to curb illegal activities. Ngaloa villages receive pint water. And new fountain in Tavwa marks Fiji's independence anniversary.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Block committees have been established at the Public Rental Board flats to curb illegal activities. Acting General Manager Patrick Veo says there are a good number of people who strictly abide by the tenancy agreement. However, he says there are a few who breach the agreement, which paints a negative picture of the PRB estates. Veo says the board counsels tenants who breach their agreement and issue warnings and eviction notices for serious breaches.
We have established block committees for each block. And there is a estate committee as well. We undertake meetings and pocket meetings as and when the need arises.
Villagers of Ngaloa in Levu will not be wasting any more time making trips to the jetty to fetch water for household use. Prime Minister Warenge Bainimarama commissioned a fresh water system on the island and says he will not allow hard-working Fijians to live the way our ancestors did centuries ago. Bainimarama says the village had approached his office for the initiative.
I remember that Napoleon Sarangia said that carrying water to Ngaloa by boat was a waste of time, money and effort, especially since sometimes half of the water had spilled during transport. It is astonishing that we were carrying water much the way our ancestors did centuries ago, when the technology has existed to supply it directly.
The Fiji First government for the past years has immensely contributed to Fiji's growth while addressing the development gap between rural and urban areas. TOMASI MOLI, the Turaga Koro from Naividamu village in Mavuata, highlighted that a number of developments have been completed in the village in the past 2 years. MOLI says the fast-paced development in many rural communities is a testament of the government's efforts in leaving no Fijian behind.
The Prime Minister is a man of his words. We had a meeting with him during his visit 2 years ago about plans to boost our agriculture production. And we are really thankful about the news that these projects will be executed this year.
All Fijians must have access to the mobile telecommunications network to ensure everyone can share in national progress. Minister for Communications, Ayar Said Kayum, says technological advancement is the new frontier for Fiji. He adds access to mobile phone technology and the internet has transformed the lives of almost every Fijian.
Telecommunications, internet, mobile phone connectivity has been hailed as the greatest equalizer. A poor person can access Google, so can a rich person. And whilst it may be the greatest equalizer, it becomes the greatest disequalizer if you don't connect some people and others are connected.
He was speaking at Digicel Fiji's 12th anniversary celebrations last night. The Suva City Council has noticed that lack of enforcement by the Nasinu Town Council is contributing to ratepayers' disregard of proper waste disposal. The SEC recently set up an independent team to collect waste in the wider Nasinu area. Chair of Special Administrators ISIKELI TIKODUADUA says they are also guiding the council on how to improve services. TIKODUADUA says their first observation is people's lack of adherence to waste collection schedules.
What we've done, we've taken photos, we've given it to the Nasinu Town Council and said, look, this is what's happening. Would you now go out and enforce and take these people to task? Because if we continue to accommodate and accept this type of behavior, it will be a challenge for the municipality.
The local government minister says developments in Tabua is dependent on the mining industry. Speaking during the launching of the fountain to commemorate the 50th Fiji Day anniversary in Tabua, yesterday Pramila Kumara said the mining town grew from its initial days due to the contribution of the elders and the miners. Kumar says Tabua was declared a town in the 1990s and today there are 8,800 Fijians living there. She adds, now is the time to reflect and see what Fiji has achieved in the past.
Where there used to be simply wooden buildings, and you'll only find wooden buildings in the town. Today, the landscape of Tabua has changed. It has changed because of the contribution made by our elders as well as by the miners.
Local investors have seen good changes that have allowed them to expedite their development projects. BSP Life Chief Investment Officer PRAMESH Sharma says the cost and availability of labor are at a level that will bring down the overall cost of their projects. Sharma adds they are facing some challenges in terms of procurement because of the logistical issues.
Those things we are managing. But going forward, I think with the changes in the approach of the various ministries towards projects and being inclusive with institutions and developers is really something that we all look forward to and want to continue to engage with.
Up ahead, Talinga back in Fiji's 7th squad and SEAQAQA after IDC glory.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.
The Tailevu rugby side has a mammoth task ahead as they prepare to take on the Ramsami Suva during the Skipper Cup competition today. Laxity cost Tailevu the game against Nandronga last week, and the players do not want a repeat of that. Tailevu head coach Samisoni Mbake Tonga says getting the right mental structure is something they need to work on.
We are facing another giant, Suva, and we'll try and do our best to work on our structure, our running line, and likewise the mental toughness from the bush.
Olympian Kitione Talinga is the new inclusion in the Fiji national men's sevens extended squad. The 27-year-old played for the Ben Ryan coached national team that won the 2016 Olympic Games gold medal in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Nratambu Nandi native has recently graduated from the Fiji Police Force after 2 months of intense training. Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor says Talinga is the only inclusion in the Gareth Baber coached side.
The extended squad that have been training back in training, and that includes players who've like Kitione Talinga, who've just passed out from the police. We've joined the team, giving them the opportunity. But other than that, there's been no new player that coach has advised me has been drafted into the team.
LAUTOKA football defender Zibraz Sahib says the team's training session has intensified as a few days remain for the Courts IDC tournament in Suva. The Blues have been training for the past 3 weeks following their league match. The side won its last IDC title 2 years ago when they beat Suva 1-0. LAUTOKA have had a few hiccups during their last few matches, but the players are confident they can perform well.
From BOG we've been down, but preparation for IDC, boys have actually lifted up their performance during training. Hopefully it continues towards the game as well.
Just a few days ago, the Fiji Football Association appointed new acting executive members to run the affairs of SEAQAQA FA. This was after 7 SEAQAQA officials were suspended due to alleged misuse of funds and mismanagement. However, the SEAQAQA side continues to prepare for the court's Inter-District Championship.
As night falls, the SEAQAQA players are still out trying to fine-tune their preparations for the IDC.
Preparation is going on well, and as all the teams are expecting, we are going for the win this year. and looking forward to the tournament next week.
Darkness may have circled the SEAQAQA FA this week due to some off-field incidents, but it has failed to have an impact on the players.
Team's morale is high after our performance in the National League, and the expectation too is high. People in SEAQAQA, and we'll go now and try and make the people proud, our fans.
The team has got some talented footballers.
Currently, we got the balanced set of boys. We got some experienced boys with a handful of youth. So what we in the inner team is we got talents. Players have reached up to Fiji team trials for under 19, and we got some former under 20 Fiji team players.
The last time SEAQAQA made the senior IDC semi-final was 17 years ago, but they plan to go a step further next week.
Every coach wants to be a winner, so that's what we are aiming for. Like, we haven't reached semi-finals for a long time, so this year we want to make it. It was 2003 we lost the finals, so this year we are just like under lines now.
SEAQAQA will play in Raketi in their first senior IDC pool match at 1 p.m. next Tuesday at Burkhurst Park. Aquila Thama, FBC Sports.
A heavy rain alert remains in force for Vitilevu, Iasawa, and the Mamanuca group, Kandabwe nearby smaller islands, southern Lao, and the Lomaiviti group. A trough of low pressure lies just to the northeast of Fiji, while another trough of low pressure is approaching the country from the west. It is expected to merge and affect the Fiji group from tonight. And that's your FBC News Now. Join us again at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. In times of crisis, you need news you can trust. Get the facts from FBC's TV, radio, and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj, keeping Fijians connected with the truth. Have a safe weekend.
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.
Bula FM, number 2 and seri.